Manobhishta Stapitayena Bhutale Swaya Rupa Kadamayan Dadati Swampadanchikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sutam Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavasya Sri Rupan Sakajatan Sadhana Raghunatha Vitantam Sajivan Sadvaitan Savadutan Parijana Satan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Parasahagana Lalita Sri Sakavitansya Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tata Kanchana Goranga Radha Bindamanishwari Visabhano Siti Devi Panamami Hari Priye Vanchakavatrudyasya Kripa Sindhivyayevacha Patitana Pavanavedyo Vaishnavedyo Namo 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 Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nidisesa Sanyavadi Paschad Deshatarine Bhaktya V'enam Naparada Lakshanai Chita Chakamadi Tarangamadi Kipamaye Chansana Papana Vinde Namaste Charana Ravinde Tabavashme Najivami Sayavina Iti Vigaya Devi Tram Nayamam Charan Nantikam. So it's nice few devotees are here this evening. Of you some more will join. So I'm glad to be here. So be sharing something about Lord Jaganath. Because Lord Jaganath is a special form of Lord Krishna. It's a special form. So through history, and also the scriptural revelations, I will be talking about something very, let's say, deep by Lord Jaganath. And what is this form? Why is the manifestation of this form of the Lord? And what does this form actually mean? This form of Jaganath. There are many historical narrations surrounding it. However, there are some which is considered to be external reasons, and then there are some which is considered to be internal reasons. So the external reasons is what is largely known to people. The external reasons of why the Lord appeared in this form, in this wooden form. It's Daru Brahma, which means the wooden form. So why this form appears, and what is the significance of this form? This is a very important subject matter for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and especially why is it that Sri Chaitanya Prabhu spent 24 years in Jaganath Puri? Sri Chaitanya Prabhu spent 24 years in Jaganath Puri. So what is the main reason of this? So I will try to say something about that as well. And also try to get into some of the ecstasy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Prabhu. So some discussion today and then some discussion tomorrow. Hopefully, because tomorrow is the actual day of Rath Yatra. And in India, the Rath Yatra normally goes till late at night, late in the evening. Like we're going to start 2 p.m. tomorrow. Then the parade is going to go till like 8 o'clock by then. So hopefully I can be back on time so that I can do the second narration. That we try. So 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago we did it was Snow Yatra, the bidding of Jaganath, the Snow Yatra. So that was 2 weeks ago. Now, if I can just ask some of the audience, some of the listeners, Snow Yatra, what does it, why Snow Yatra? What does it mean? Can someone say something? What's the bidding? What are the significance of the bidding ceremony? Somebody in the audience, you can unmute and say something about what is the Snow Yatra, the bidding ceremony? Anybody? Can you hear me? Hare Krishna. Am I being heard? Can you?
Yeah, you are audible. We can hear you. Yes,
oh,
you are
okay.
audible.
Okay. So I want someone to say something about Snow Yatra. Why Snow Yatra? What does it mean? The bidding ceremony. Nobody? I'm sure we have some few learned scholars here. So Snow Yatra is basically, that's the appearance of the Jaganath.
Okay.
That's the appearance. That's the manifest.
I was going to say that I thought it's just the bathing. Snana means bathing, so it's the bathing of the bathing ceremony of the Jaganath, of the deity.
Yes, snow means bathing, bathe. Okay. Like if I want to say I'm bathing in Sanskrit, I will say aham snanam karomi, which means I am bathing. Snanam. So snow means to bathe. So the bathing of Lord Jaganath, and that is the day that Lord Jaganath actually manifested. His day he appeared. And then when there's a newborn, there's a bathing. There's a bathing ceremony. So that bathing ceremony is when the Lord appeared, manifested as in a wooden form, then there is a bathing. Now, since we said that Krishna is the same as Jaganath, so if you say that Krishna is the same as Jaganath, so how can we say that the bathing ceremony is the appearance of Jaganath if Krishna is the same as Jaganath? After all, we celebrate Janmashtami in the month of Bhadra, which is exactly about...
Ishwara Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I think Shriman Vara Prabhu has something to say in regards to your question. He has a hand up.
Okay. Okay, Vara Prabhu can say something.
Prabhu, you may unmute.
Jai Dandavat Pranam Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Well, I was just thinking about, when you said the significance of Snana Yatra, and I was spellbound because I wanted to hear whether there was any other meaning beside what I knew. And then that is just about the question, what you're about to say, that it is done on the birthday of the Lord. And then since the one they did for Jaganath is on before the Ratha Yatra, so I really don't see how that is related with his birth date, because we do Snana Yatra or Abhishek on the appearance day of the Lord. Yeah. So that's what I know. But then for Jaganath, when it's about to go on Ratha Yatra and they do Snana or Abhishek for him, so how is that connected to his birthday? But you are just about saying that. So that's exactly what I wanted to know. I want to hear. What is the other significance besides being the birthday? But is it the
Okay,
Jaganath
so-
birthday? That is it. That's the question. Is it really the birthday of Lord Jaganath? That's the question. Thank you.
Now, when we talk of Jaganath, we are actually talking about the manifestation of Jaganath. When supposedly when the carving was finished and the Lord became manifested. So that particular day, that's the day of the Snan Yatra. When the carving was historically when the king in the Dumna, when they found that the Lord is there in that form, uncompleted form, it's like uncompleted. So, and the sculptures, who is actually the Vishwamitra, so he left. And then he left the form, they were there. And then the Lord said, okay, the king said, I'm happy with this form. And I'm going to install them. So therefore, there was a wedding ceremony. Now, the Rath Yatra, of course, is when the Lord decided to give his audience to the devotees. When the Lord decided to give his audience, that's the day of the Rath Yatra. And then he comes out on a grand, on a grand manifestation on the chariot. He's being pulled by the devotees to give his audience to the devotees. So that is the Rath Yatra day. Now, as I was saying earlier, that if you say the Snan Yatra day is the day of the manifestation, now, and if we say that Jaganath is the same as Krishna. So now how do we say that Lord Krishna appear in the month of Bhadra, which is exactly about 6 weeks from now. 6 weeks, because this year Jamasami for 16th of August this year. So 6 weeks from now is the appearance of Lord Krishna. So if Krishna is not different from Jaganath, so how can we say that Day of the Lord? Well, the fact, as I said earlier, the fact is that Lord Krishna did appear on the month of Bhadra, the 8th day, so it's called Ashtami. But this specific wooden form of Lord Krishna, which is Jaganath, that is appeared 2 weeks ago. And then Jaganath Theatre Day is the day when he's going to be giving audience to all the devotees. So before we continue this narration, there are some prayers. There are some prayers which are offered to Jaganath, Baladev, and Subhadra. Some prayers, and this prayer were found within the Padma Purana. So I'm going to be reciting these prayers, and then I will do the translation, which are very, very nice prayers. If you don't have this prayer, I can send it to you. So it's Jaganath Pranam. So first, there's a prayer to Lord Jaganath first. Then there's going to be prayer to Baladev, and then prayer to Subhadra, and then prayer to Sudarshan Chakra. So the prayer goes this way. Nilachala Nivasaya Nichayaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadra Dhyan Jagannatayate Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Jaganath, along with Lord Baladev and Srimati Subhadra. The eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Jaganath, resides in Nilachal, Purushottam Sutra, and is the Paramatma, the super soul of all living entities. Deva Jagannatha Parapanati Vinasana Kaimam Pundare Kaksha Patitam Bhavasagare. O God of gods, O Jaganath, O Lord of the universe, please destroy the great distress that has overcome me. O Lotus Eyed Lord, please deliver this fallen soul from the ocean of material existence. Namaste Jagadadhara Jagadatma Namostute Kaivaya Tiguna Tita Gunanjana Namostute. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the support and the very soul of the universe. You are transcendental to the influence of the three modes of material nature and above the impersonal Brahman, and yet you are decorated with wonderful transcendental qualities. I offer my repeated obeisances unto you. Karunamita Patodhe Sudhamne Namo Namaha. Daraika Guyaya Kripa Patodhaye Namaha. To you, who are an ocean of nectarian compassion and whose abode is most attractive, I offer my obeisances again and again. In a most mysterious way, you are the sole uplifter and deliverer of the fallen souls. O ocean of mercy, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Paritahi Jagannatha Dinabandho Namostute Nistinoham Bhavam Bodhim Prapya Tram Taramin Sukam. O Lord Jaganath, please rescue me. O friend of the fallen, I offer my obeisances unto you. Now that I have attained you as my safe boat to cross the ocean of material existence, I have been delivered. Jai Jaganath, Sri Jaganath Dev Ki Jai. So now I recite the prayer to Lord Baladev. Baladev Pranam. Namaste Aladgrat Rama, Namaste Musala Yudha, Namaste Ravati Kanta, Namaste Bhaktavatsala. Obeisances to you, O Balaram, O holder of the plow. Obeisances to you, O wielder of the mace. Obeisances to you, O beloved of Revati. Obeisances to you, who are very kind to your devotees. Namaste Balina Seshta, Namaste Dharani Dhara, Pralambare Namaste Sutraima Krishna Puvaja. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Balaram, the best of the strong and the support of the earth. Obeisances unto you, O enemy of Pralanda, please deliver me, O elder brother of Krishna. Sri Baladev Prabhu Ki Jai. Now the prayer to Mother Subhadra Devi. Subhadra Pranam. Diritam Vishnu Mayate Mohayanti Chara Charam Re Padmasana Samsta Se Vishnu Baba Nusarini. O Subhadra Devi, you are Lord Vishnu's Maya potency, and as such, you cause the bewilderment of all moving and non-moving living entities in the universe. You reside in the lotus of the heart and perform all activities exactly according to Lord Vishnu's desires. Jaya Devi Bhakti Dhatri Prasida Parameshwari Jaya Devi Subhadri Tvam Sarvesham Vadadayini. All glories to you, the bestower of Bhakti. You are famous as Parameshwari, the supreme controller. Please be satisfied with me. All glories to you, Subhadra Devi. You bestow transcendental auspiciousness to one and all. Jai Subhadevi Maharani Ki Jai. Now, obeisances to Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan is straight next to Jaganath. Sudarshan Mahajwala Koti Suya Samaprabha Agyanandi Agyanandasame Nityam Vishnu Magam Prasaya. O Sudarshan, your burning effulgence is as brilliant as millions of suns. Please dispel our darkness of ignorance and thus reveal the path to the eternal world of Vaikuntha. Namaste Nityavilasat Vaishnavascha Niketana Abhaya Viyan Yadrupam Vishnu Star Pranamamaham. I offer my obeisances unto the brightly shining Sudarshan Chakra, which never fails to offer our protection to the Vaishnavas. I humbly bow down before Lord Vishnu's weapon of irresistible strength. Jai Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. So these are very, very important prayers to see Jaganath, Baladev, and Subhadra, Mai, and then the Sudarshan Chakra, especially to some of the devotees who are worshiping, who have Lord Jaganath on the altar. It's very important to recite these prayers on a daily basis. By the recitation of these prayers, one is bound to receive the mercy of the Lord. So if anyone wants these prayers, if you don't have it, if anyone wants, you can write me, and I will send you the script. So tomorrow is a very auspicious day. I think the same date is standard for all over the world in terms of the day of the Jaganath Rath Yatra. That's the actual day, because now in India, here in India, all our temples in India, because Rath Yatra is tomorrow is in Puri. Now all our ISKCON temples in India, ISKCON have more than 200 temples. But all the temples have to have the Rath Yatra between the 1st and the 9th. This is the Rath Yatra period. So which means before it used to be done in different months before, but now this has been last 3 years or so. It has been stopped because the priests of Jagannath Puri temple, they are very opposed that the ISKCON is having Rath Yatra on a different day. So because of this opposition, so in order not to disturb the tradition, so ISKCON agreed to also have the Rath Yatras in various temples within the same time period, which means from tomorrow, July 1st, to the 9th of July. So, of course, outside of India is different. Outside of India, the temples there, they are free to hold the Yatras anytime they want. After all, it's Lord of the universe. It's not limited to a particular situation. But in India, we have to cooperate with the local tradition. So there are two reasons why Lord Jaganath appear, where we have this form of Lord Jaganath. The two reasons for this form. There's the external reasons or the external considerations. And then there's the internal reason. This internal reason is actually the main cause of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu appearing and spent 24 years in Jagannath Puri. So first I'm going to talk briefly about the external reason first, the external reason. explanation being that because of the worship, because of the devotion of King Indradyumna, so because of his devotion, so the Lord appeared the way it is, because of his the devotion of King Indradyumna. So there was the story is there. So the story is there that there are some personalities. They were traveling in various parts of India. They were traveling. Now this event happens millions and millions and millions of years ago, a long time ago, because King Indradyumna, he appeared on the first kappa of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma has two kappas, the first half of his life and then the second half of his life. Now we are the second half of Lord Brahma's life. But in the first part of his life, which is called the first kappa, Lord Brahma lives for billions or trillions of years. So the people, some personalities, they were traveling in a different part of India. And then they came across a place near the ocean. So they came across a place near the ocean, and then they saw a very magnificent deity of Lord Vishnu called Lila. And they found this deity so beautiful. And they also found that this deity is very, very merciful to everyone. Very, very merciful. That even no one, just by thinking of him, won't get the ultimate benefit. So as the people who were traveling, so they went to this place. They went to Ujjain, which is in the central part of India. And they met the king of the land there. The king of the land, his name was King Indradyumna. So when they narrated to the king on how they have came across this very beautiful deity, very, very beautifully formed, Lila Madhava. Lila means blue. Lila means blue also can also means black also. But very beautiful, attractive form of the Lord is there. And it's a four-arm form of Lord Vishnu. So they described this deity to the king. So immediately the king became very, very attracted. His heart became filled with devotion. So the king, he decided to go and have audience with the deity. So the king, first of all, he sent out his ministers to go all over the country, because what happened was that these personalities who had initially seen the deity, they did not describe to the king the exact location of the exact location of where the deity is. They did not describe to the king, because when they were talking with the king, so the next morning they left. So the king, he didn't know exactly the exact spot where they had found, but the king was very, very anxious. He was very, very anxious. So what he did was that he sent out his ministers, his competent, very trusted ministers, like Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, especially Brahmanas. So he sent them out to various parts of the country. So now there is one specific young Brahman. His name is Vidyapati. So he sent Vidyapati also to eastern part of India to go and search. Now, India is a big country, you know. Now, those days, people, they travel by foot. They don't go by airplane. Now there's airplane, there's whatever. Anyway, so Vidyapati was traveling. He was traveling for like about 3 months. And then he came across a blue mountain. He came across a blue mountain near the ocean. In Sanskrit, the blue mountain is called a Niladri. So he came across the blue mountain, and he saw that in this place, people there in their place, they were very, very well behaved. Everyone is very calm, very, very peaceful in this place. And then, upon further inquiry, so Vidyapati came to know that the leader of these people is a person called Vidyavasu. Visvasu. So this person's name is Visvasu. So he was the leader of this group of people. And Visvasu was a Sabara. Sabara means he was a hunter. So hunter. So the people, they described to them by their leader, who is very, very great personality, is good and all that. So Vidyapati, he was very, very much attracted to this place, and then he decided to inquire further about this leader, and then they pointed it to him the house where this person he stays. So they pointed to him the house where he stays. So Vidyapati went to his house, but that time he was not. This person was not there. It was her daughter was there. The daughter of and his daughter was there that time. His daughter was in the house. So when Vidyapati reached the house, he met the daughter, and the daughter was very, very beautiful, very, very, very beautiful young lady. So, and then the Satu, he was the daughter of this tribal leader. She was told to take care of these guests, of these traveling guests. Her name was Lila. She invited him to the house, and then Vidyapati entered the house, and then she prepared nice food to eat, nice drinks, and all that, to make him very, very welcome in the house. In the meanwhile, our father was not there, and then towards the evening, the father was returning home, and as he was returning home, Vidyapati could notice a very, very wonderful fragrance coming from as he was coming near the house. He said very wonderful fragrance of incense, flowers, very unusual, wonderful fragrance. So when the Shastra arrived in the house, and then Lalita, his daughter, introduced him to this guest, Vidyapati. And of course, when Vidyapati saw him, he did not immediately disclose his mission, why he has come to that particular spot. So the man himself, this hunter, this Sasu, so he liked the man of Vidyapati, and then he sheltered him in his house. So he sheltered him in his house, and then he was staying there. He was staying there, and as time goes on, so Vidyapati developed affection for the daughter, for the girl. So he developed affection, and so eventually he got married to her. So when he got married to her, then after they've been living together for several months, and then Vidyapati revealed to his wife that, look, the reason why I've come here is that it's because of this wonderful deity, Lila Madhava, who I heard that you're residing in this same he stayed in this place. Now, I've noticed one thing, that your father goes out every day. He goes out in the morning and come back in the evening. What does he do? What does he do? I want to know. So initially, Lalita was very hesitant because his father had forbidden her not to tell anyone that he's going to worship. He does every day, he does the worship of Lila Madhava every day. But his father had forbidden to his daughter that don't tell anyone. So when Vidyapati was insisting on this other, tell me, where does your father go every day? And whenever he comes back in the evening, his body is full of fragrance, that so much fabulous fragrance that you can smell it from several, for long distance away, you can smell it. What does she do? Where does she go? So eventually, because of the wife affection to the husband also, so she eventually revealed to her husband that no, every day my father goes to the forest and worship Lila Madhava. That this is a secret because I don't want this to be known to everybody. Then my father goes every day to worship Lila Madhava. So when the Vidyapati heard it, he was so happy. He was so, oh, this is my missions accomplished. This is why I've come to this place. He was so happy that, oh, how wonderful this is. This is a great news. And then they told his wife that, so then you must convince your father to take me for this worship, to take me to go and see Lila Madhava. You must tell your father. Initially, she was very afraid, but then it's okay. I will try to tell my father to take you there. So when the father returned in the evening, so the girl, who was maybe the Baptist's wife, she told her father that, my dear father, you must take Vidyapati to see Lila Madhava. You must take him. At first, the father was very angry. He said, didn't I tell you not to tell everyone about this? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I forbid you? So he replied that you have to tell him. And then she told her father that you must take him to go and see the deity. No. I would never take anyone there because the for the Lord. They said, I'll take anyone there. And then the girl said, well, if you don't take him, if you don't to go and see the mother, then I'm going to commit suicide. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill this very spot if you don't agree to take him to.
I think Isvara Prabhu's network or something.
Yeah, I think his internet dropped.
I'm returning the host.
Okay, am I audible now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm audible now.
Yes, you are.
I am. Okay, I am traveling, so I'm only using the 4G internet, and sometimes the signal goes off sometimes. So which means everybody have to be there with me. The signal sometimes it comes in, it goes off sometimes. But I'm okay now, right? Okay now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Huh? Okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So eventually I got that threatening to commit suicide if her father does not agree to take her husband to go and see the deity, Lila Madhava. So eventually It's okay, I will take him. But on one condition, when we are going, when I'm taking him, I want to tie something around his eye so that he will not be able to see the road. I must blind him. I have to tie something to close his eye, and then I only remove the covering only when I reach the spot where the date is. So the agreement was made. They said, okay. So what happened is that in the morning, when he was about to go to the forest, to the spot where the Lamadeva is, so he took a strong covering, and it covers the eye of Vidyapati. However, his wife, she was so intelligent. So what she did was that because it was the beginning of the rainy season, so what she did was that she gave mustard seeds, and normally mustard seeds, when the mustard, when they grow, and they also produce very nice, beautiful flowers. So she husband mustard seed. I told her husband that as you are going, just drop one seed at a time. Drop one seed at a time until you reach the until you reach the place. So as they were going, even though his eye was covered, so he was dropping the like that. So then after some time, of course, when he reached the spot, and we saw to open his eyes, so Vidyapati could see the magnificence of Lord Jaganath. He could see. So he was so happy. So he said, "Yes, my life mission is so successful." And there's one specific thing that he saw, so specific, is that near that spot there is a lake there. There is a lake near that spot, and in that lake, he saw one bird, one crow. Somehow, the crow is being attacked, and then the crow fell into the lake. And when the crow fell into the lake, all of a sudden, there's an airplane that came from Vaikuntha. Because when the can somebody stop that? Somebody please move.
I think it's from Salika Prabhu. Salika Prabhu.
Okay. So the crow fell into the lake, into the lake, and then immediately that crow, when it fell into the lake, immediately a beautiful body transformed, came out of the lake, four-armed beautiful eye, and there's an airplane, a flower airplane that actually came from Vaikuntha and took that body, that personality into the Vaikuntha planet. So which means the lake is such a transformation that even a person who has never performed any devotional activities, who has not done any worship of the Lord, was transformed just by being in contact with this lake, because the Lord is there. So this Lord Lila Madhava was measured like the most merciful form of the Lord. So after a few months, Vidyapati, he decided to go back to where he had come from. And of course, he told his wife that I'm going back to Ujjain. That is called Avanti. I'm going back there, and I promise you I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back. But I have to go back to my place. So after several months, so Vidyapati, he arrived back into the kingdom. And of course, actually that time, the King Indradurna, he had lost hope that, he lost hope that because Vidyapati had gone for several months, he lost hope that he will ever return. And when the party returned, I went to the king's palace. So the king was very, very happy that, oh, you have returned. And then he told the king that what he had discovered, what he had found, that yes, he had found the most beautiful form of the Lord, and also very Lila. I thought very small. Okay, I am going to go there. I'm going to go there with all my family, with everyone, my kingdoms, my soldiers, everybody. I'm going to go there to go and worship this Lord. I'm going to go there to go and worship this. So then King Indaduna, along with all his family, his wife, children, soldiers, minister. So they all departed for this spot. When they reached there, they found that the place had been overwhelmed, had been covered with a big sand. The ocean, because it was on the ocean side. So the sand had covered the place completely. But however, not to be. So the king heard a voice that do not touch. There is a log of wood. It's a log of wood. I will appear. I'm going to appear within from this log of wood. So you sure? Take this log of wood and then have me carved. I'm going to appear from this wood. So then as to the king found the big log of wood floating. So the log of wood was brought to the king's palace. And the king commissioned it to find many sculptures of the country who fashion the form of the fine. But anyone who tried, every single sculpture, every single carver, the moment they come to try, just immediately their instrument will be brought to this thing.
Isvara Prabhu. Isvara Prabhu, excuse me, your internet is very poor. So I'm thinking you probably might have to turn on your video, and that might enhance your audio.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, let's try that and see.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, because it's a night time, the reception is not good. Okay, let me just stop the video then. Yes, stop the video. All right, so is my voice better?
Yes.
The voice is better?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah, because of the place I'm here, I'm in the state of Gujarat. I'm in the city of Baroda. So the signal is not so strong now. Yeah, the signal is not so strong. When I was in Vrindavan, I normally speak through the Wi-Fi. Anyway, we try. So several carvers came. None of them could do so. Eventually, one old Brahmana came, and this old Brahmana was actually Vishwakarma himself. Vishwakarma was the architect of the demigods. Vishwakarma, a demigod. Yeah. So the Brahmana told the king that I am going to carve the form of the Lord, but I want a room locked, and do not come. No one should enter the room, because if anyone enters the room, I will leave. So no one should enter the room. So the Lord promised that he will not allow anyone to enter the room until the Brahmana finish. So then the Brahman started, the Vishwakarma started carving. He was carving the three forms of the Lord he was carving. So after a long period of time, as the carving was going on, normally every day the king will walk by, and then he will be hearing the sound. He will be hearing the sound as the king was walking by. But after some time, after almost a month of carving, the sound stopped. No longer the king does not hear the sound anymore. And then the king was wondering, how come? What happened? He became very anxious. He was wondering what happened. There's no more sound. So, and then he grew so anxious, he decided to open the door. So when he opened the door, the Brahmana got up, he became angry, and then left. He disappeared. But the three forms of the Lord has been carved: Jaganath, Baladev, Subhadra, and with their distinctive eye, big, big eye, the hand just which is almost struck to the body. But they have no arm. The king, the Brahmana has left, so but he has the basically uncompleted forms of the Lord. But there is a specific reason. So the Lord actually they wish to appear in this form, in this Jaganath form. So the so and then we the big procession like that. That's the so this is the most commonly understood history of the appearance of the Jaganath.
Prabhu, your connection is very, very, very poor. It's very, very bad. Nobody can really understand what you're saying. You're telling us lots of sweet Lilas. Unfortunately, your line is so bad, we can barely hear what you're saying. So I'm suggesting, you've already told us a few things. Maybe the witness may ask questions, share insights, and also give comments and the realizations from what you've said so far. Because your line is very, very bad. We cannot hear you.
So how do we hear him if we are asking questions? How could he respond?
Sometimes when you do not speak continuously and you just speak briefly, that helps. It's better than speaking continuously.
Okay. Can you hear me, Hare Krishna?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I think what to be done is that I can repeat this lecture when I get back to Vrindavan next week.
Okay.
I will get back to Vrindavan on the 7th. So maybe on the 9th or something like that, I can repeat the lectures. I can do the lecture again because my connection is not good and there's no Wi-Fi here.
Yeah.
There's no Wi-Fi. Even though I have to phone with the thing, but still, nighttime is. And also, our temple is not like in the central part of the town. Our temple is in kind of like a back side of the town. So that is why.
Yeah. Hare Krishna temples are always like that.
So very beautiful temple, nice temple, but it's at the back side of the town.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow,
I mean, this is of course
also
devotee would have loved to hear this external reason, because this is very, very this is goes into Lord Krishna's feeling separation from the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So it's very, very important, very, very important, Lila.
Yeah. Maybe
we hear about.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the witnesses would love to hear. Hopefully, when you are back in Sri Vrindavan Dham, where you have access to better
or just hold on. I'll be in Bombay in 2 days.
Okay.
So I'll be in Bombay in 2 days. So you can organize me that can after tomorrow. After tomorrow from Saturday onwards. So you can organize me again. I can actually do it because in Bombay I will have Wi-Fi in Bombay.
I am not very certain about the weekend because the weekend is used for Bhakti Shastri and
so you can, if you want to do it on Monday and Tuesday, that's okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
So if you want to organize for Monday and Tuesday, we can repeat this lecture on Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Hare Krishna. We'll try to see how we can do that.
Okay. So it is like I'm little, so maybe some question can be asked. It is like
yes, I have a question, and the question goes to what Shriman Vara Prabhu was asking or sharing, because he was trying to answer your question. What is the significance of this Nanda Yatra? And you indicated that is the bathing ceremony of the birthday or the appearance day of the Lord. But like myself, too, my understanding was like what Shriman Vara Prabhu was sharing, that it is actually a day the Supreme Lord get bathed and dressed in pomp for him to be shown to the public. So I would like you to throw more light as to which is which. Is it because that day is the birthday or the appearance day of the Lord, or it's simply because the Lord is being prepared to be seen by the audience in public? Hare Krishna.
I mean, if you just use a common logic, that when you take birth, you don't just go at the same day. So there's bathing, so that way is done. So the Lord appeared on the snow yesterday, the manifestation of Jaganath particularly, and then the 2 week period, and then coming out procession to the people, to give who observe these laws the darshan, they all get supreme the supreme benefit. Saturday is not the which is the full message of the public. So the who was able to speak us, then to
Yeah. Probably, unfortunately, the witnesses are not hearing anything. Unfortunately. Yeah, the witnesses can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Sade.
Hare Krishna.
I think you can say something so that you can get some benefit from it, because we don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Shriman Isvara Prabhu. It's unfortunate your internet connection is quite poor, and like I think Larry Flowers forward said, it's a pastime we would love to hear so badly. So maybe when you are in the right situation to speak to us about it, we'll be more than happy to hear you speak. But today is quite poor. Because personally, I have lots of questions. I have lots of questions from what you shared so far. But when you speak, we can only hear.
You should reserve your question until you hear the second part.
Yeah, okay.
Then you can have tons of questions to us. Wait till you hear the second part.
All right. Okay. So I cannot speak much on Jaganath Lila. Shri Isvara has prepared to speak on this Jaganath Lila. So we'll give him time, and hopefully by Guru Krishna's grace, he will be in a better situation to drown us in the ocean of Jaganath Lila. I have so many questions because Lord Jaganath is the most merciful aspect of the Godhead. Yet he did not appear in a form that will be easily accepted by the general public. If the general public saw the form of Radha Krishna, it's very easy for the general public to accept, yeah, this is God. Look, so beautiful. And Lord Jaganath, he has no hands, he has no legs. So I would like to find out, Isvara Prabhu, if you're still here, maybe it's something you can think about. I would like to find out how he decided to appear in this form. I'm sure there are always answers to every question we have, because I understand in our Krishna movement, we have more answers than questions. It's just a matter of knowing the answer, but every question has an answer. So it's kind of poor. We'll ask the devotees if anyone has something briefly to share on this Jaganath Lila. We can do that before we bring the class to a close.
Yeah, I think Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think Lord Jaganath Lila is unlimited.
Yeah.
He has unlimited pastimes. As
Govindaji, you're also breaking up. We cannot hear you anymore. Today is a challenging day. We cannot hear Govinda Prabhu. Anyone else want to go? Wants to speak? Well, I think.
I have something.
Okay,
I may
please
share
go ahead.
something. I like to share.
Go ahead.
Just 1 minute. Actually, this is why something shared. Somebody sent to me about the Jaganath Rath Yatra, so I could just share with the devotees. So he said that Jagannath Puri, also called as Nilachala or Sri Chetra. The same Jagannath Puri is known as Nilachala. It's also known as Sri Chetra and Purushottam Kshetra. So it's one of the most popular pilgrimage sites in India. The city of Jagannath Puri is shaped like the shadow of a conch shell. In the center of the conch shell shadow, there is a portion of raised ground called Nilagiri, or the Blue Hill. And on the crest of Nilagiri stands an imposing temple complex dedicated to Lord Krishna in form of Lord Jaganath, the maintainer of the universe. Lord Jaganath is the maintainer of the universe. In Sanskrit, Jagat means the universe and Natha means the maintainer. Glories of Jagannath Puri in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Do 159 to 163. Srila Sanatana Goswami, one of the great Vaishnava Acharyas, describes Puri Dharma. In Purushottam Kshetra Nilachala, by the shore of the saltwater ocean, the Lord of the universe, Jagannath, is splendidly manifested in a spiritual form of wood. On the northern shore of the ocean, in Purushottam Kshetra, the supremely blissful personality of Godhead pretends to be made of wood. The goddess of fortune personally cooks for him. When the Lord has eaten, the merciful Lord gives his remnant to his devotees, which even the demigods cannot obtain. This remnant, called Mahaprasad, should be eaten without considering who has touched them or from where they were brought. Oh, what the glory of that place. Even an ass there becomes a four-armed resident of Vaikuntha. Anyone who goes there once is never born again. Veda Vyas explains in the Garuda Purana, when the demigods in heaven see the people of Jagannath Puri as four-armed residents of Vaikuntha, holding a conch shell, chakra, and lotus in their hands, they faint again and again. The Vishnu Purana explains, in the country of Odisha, in Nilachala, in Purushottam Kshetra, the spiritual and blissful personality of Godhead appears as the wooden deity named Lord Jagannath. Puri Jagannath Temple, the main temple structure is 65 meters, that is 214 feet high, and is built on high ground, which makes it look even larger than what it is. The temple complex is having 10.7 acres. Jagannath Temple has the largest kitchen in the world and feeds thousands of devotees every day. More than 100,000 crores people's prasad can be prepared in one day, and the kitchen can prepare over 2,000 or 250 crores people on a festival day. There are 36 traditional communities who render a specific hereditary service to the deities. 36 traditional communities who render a specific hereditary service to the deities. The temple has as many as 6,000 priests, known as pandas. There is a wheel on the top of the Jagannath temple that consists of an alloy of 8 different metals, Astadatus, known as Lila Chakra, blue wheel. It is 11 feet, 18 inches high, and has a circumference of about 36 feet. On Ekadasi day, a lamp is lit near the wheel. Daily, a flag is tied on a mast attached to Nilachala Chakra. In front of the main temple, there is a pillar of height 11 meters called Aruna Stamba. It was brought to Puri during the 18th century from the Sun Temple in Konak. Aruna is the charioteer of the sun god, present on top of the pillar. There are 4 gates to the Jaganath temple as follows. These are the main entrances to Jaganath temple on the Grand Road. The eastern Simha Dwara, Lion Gate. The southern Isvara Dwara, Horse Gate. The western Viagra Dwara, Tiger Gate. The northern Asti Dwara, Elephant Gate. Inside the Lion Gate, in front of the altar of Lord Jaganath, is a column called the Garuda Stamba. Switching time, Prabhu usually saw Lord Jaganath from a distance from behind this column. Behind this, there is a ditch which was filled with tears of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his handprint is melted into the Garuda Stamba. In the passage room of main gate, there is the deity of Lord Jaganath called Patita Pavana, savior of the most fallen. It can be visible from the road. So the devotees who are not allowed inside the temple can take darshan from outside. Jaganath is no one else but the ecstatic manifestation of Krishna, who appears in his most merciful form to help us go home back to Godhead. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON founder Charya, has introduced the Jaganath Ratha Yatra in many cities around the world to uplift the conditioned souls from the spell of Maya illusion. Let us take advantage of the occasion and welcome Lord Jaganath into our hearts and celebrate the upcoming Ratha Yatra festival with love and devotion. Jai Jagannath Swami Ki Jai. So that was something somebody shared with me, and I think I should share with everyone since we are meditating on Lord Jaganath today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing that with us. I'm thinking if this is in an electronic format, is it possible to share it with us?
Sure, I can. Can
Yes.
I share it on the discussion area?
Yeah, the chat room. Yes.
On the platform?
Yeah, like both. You can share it here and also on the platform.
Okay, I'll try here. If I'm not successful here, I will do it on the platform.
Okay. Kavi, can I put place on mute?
Yeah, Prabhu, thank you very much. I was enjoying the nectar Ishman Vara Prabhu is narrating how he was describing those Lord Jaganath abode. It was very wonderful, everything very specific and elaborate, and it's very, very wonderful to hear. And we all know that Lord Jaganath is a special form of Krishna. Even Jesus Christ went to Jagannath Puri. That is why I wanted to ask Prabhu this question. When Jesus Christ went to Jagannath Puri, he was criticizing the pujaris. Why? According to information gathered. So I wanted to ask His Grace Shriman Param Prabhu.
Yeah,
Prabhu.
Jesus Christ was criticizing because the Brahmins were having double lifestyle. In the temple, there were Brahmins. Outside of the temple, they were not Brahmins. They were not acting as Brahmins.
I was asking Shriman Param Prabhu.
Yeah, okay, Shriman Param Prabhu can also continue. Shriman Param Prabhu, please.
Okay, are you hearing me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can
Prabhu.
hear you.
Okay, that story is actually inside the, what is it called? The Aquarian Gospel, Gospel of Jesus the Christ.
Yeah.
So in that gospel, it is mentioned that Lord Jesus Christ lived with the Brahmins. It was in the ashram. So I just shared that link.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, why was he criticizing the priest? Well, like excuse me, Sahadev Prabhu said, he did not only actually criticize the priest, he also criticized, well, I think more like that, because he was saying that how could they be worshiping the Lord in his form and at the same time, considering other people not to be fit or not too fit to see the Lord? How could they be having access to the Lord directly? They consider Jaganath as the Supreme Lord, but they were saying that others do not have the right to be there. That was one of the things he criticized. I remember in his own mission back in the among the Jews, he also condemned that kind of discrimination. He was ready to preach to the Gentiles and mix with everybody. But he saw that the priests in the Jaganath temple were actually very discriminatory in the approach of who comes and who doesn't. I think that was one of the things he criticized. But there's something else he criticized, which is escaping my mind, which is even deeper on the deity worship itself. I can't remember it right now, but I think if I get it, I'll post it. He criticized them on the manner of worship also of the deity. I'll look for it and I'll post it.
He criticized the deity worship simply because of the behavior of the Brahmins, because the Brahmins were acting as Paka devotees in the temple, but once outside the temple, they were not acting right. And so that led him to preach as if he was an imperialist, that God does not live in the temple, he lives everywhere. So if you think God is in the temple and you behaving nicely in the temple, God is everywhere. So when you are outside the temple, you should equally behave well.
Maybe
I have another one, because
sure.
when we read the pastime and the glories of Lord Jaganath, we see many places where even though those pujaris or the pandas, even though they have double standards, still anybody who criticizes them is being punished, even to the extent of Pundarika Vidyanidhi. He got a blow in the mouth because he criticized the double standard, that they are not washing the clothes they are giving to Lord Jaganath. And because of that, in the night, the Lord blew him in his mouth. Is there anywhere where it's mentioned after Jesus Christ criticized them and they got some punishment?
No, except that he left the temple afterwards. After the criticism, he left there, but he had stayed there for quite some time. He stayed there. It's actually interesting. He learned a lot from the temple, though, because it's not just the criticism. There were other things he shared about his experience in Jaganath temple. But after he observed certain anomalies, he left the temple.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Because Jagannath temple, Jagannath Puri actually is a very special place. Even some of the pandas, they eat fish and they call it jalfal. They call it jalfal. Jalfal means the fruit of water.
Yes.
So they consider fish to be the fruit of water. They don't consider it as a meat eating. And some of them, they still worship in the deities. So I don't know, there's so many, like Prabhu said, double standard in Jagannath Puri, but still they are considered to be pure devotee of Lord Jaganath. That is why Lord Jaganath is very merciful. I don't know.
There is one story His Holiness BDT Maharaj shared with us some time ago when he visited us in the US. And he was saying that they were pulling Lord Jagannath's wrath. And Lord Jaganath stopped. He wouldn't move. And the reason Lord Jaganath wasn't moving was because he was waiting for one of his most devotees. And where was this devotee? This devotee had visited a prostitute. So the devotee was with a prostitute. And then he remembered, oh my gosh, today is Lord Jagannath's wrath. So he immediately ran away from the prostitute to go and join the Rath Yatra party. And when he got there to join the party, Lord Jaganath told him, I'm happy to see you come back, but please go take shower first. So the devotee went, took shower, came back. Only then the wrath was able to move. So, see, when we say we follow Vedic scriptures, we should understand that, yes, we follow the Vedic system, but truly speaking, we are not whole following the Vedic system. We're following Prabhupada Nuga, what Prabhupada has given us. So many things Prabhupada has asked us to do, so many things Prabhupada has asked us not to do. You may come across some devotees who did them and were still loved by the Lord. Now, if we make the mistake that this devotee did this and the Lord was still happy with him, so I can also do that, that's a big trouble. Because those devotees, we do not know. They are already on a certain level that they do not require any rules and regulations. But for those of us who are beginners, we need these rules and the regulations. That is why Srila Prabhupada has given us these rules and the regulations to follow. So we should first of all understand that we are followers of Srila Prabhupada's teachings. And once we go above what Srila Prabhupada has given us and contradict what Srila Prabhupada has given us, then we are bound to face trouble. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Prabhu, for your explanation.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Governor Prabhu, you have something to share?
Oh
Yes,
yeah, I feel cheated. I suggested that Vara Prabhu should say something,
Oh, okay.
and as soon as I finished saying that, I didn't hear nothing again because I'm driving through Chicago.
Okay.
And with Ohio's data I'm using, I don't have much internet connection here.
Okay.
So I didn't hear a word that he said. So
okay.
I feel cheated. If someone can help me. Yeah.
Don't feel cheated because he was reading. He was reading from something somebody had sent to him. And we asked him to share, so he's already shared. And he's also going to share it on the WhatsApp platform, so you'll see it later to read it. I've already copied it, and I was reading it. Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, see, what I would like to say is, yeah, it is true that this devotees in Jagannath Puri, they are very special. They are very special devotees, very special souls. But God, His creation, His manual for the people in this creation, it works for everybody. And everybody has to abide by those regulations in order for one to become purified. So if we're saying that the devotees in Jagannath Puri are very special, therefore they don't need to follow anything, but still the Lord still love them. This is contradictory. They said that one should not eat meat. That means that how can you eat meat without killing the animal? And the people in Jagannath Puri, they eat meat. The Brahmin, they eat meat, but they still love.
No, not meat, Prabhu, not meat. Fish.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, Prabhu. If you go and eat fish today, I don't think you'll be happy to join Hare Krishna again. So other fish or crab or anything, there's life in it. So he's taking the life of that body. So this is difficult to understand.
Well, probably I think Shriman Vara Prabhu may have something to share on this, but the little I can say is that I do not think you are right to say that the laws, the rules, and the regulations are meant for everyone. No, it's only meant for conditioned souls.
That's what I'm saying. The people in this world are conditioned souls. And those who are liberated, those liberated souls never does anything contrary to the rules and regulations that are supposed to be followed by the conditioned souls.
No, they only do that if they are preaching. If they are not preaching, if the pure devotees are not preaching, they don't follow any rules and regulations. That is why, for preaching purposes, they have to step down to see good and evil. But those who are pure devotees and are not preaching, they do not follow any rules. They don't.
So how do we determine that this person is pure? So therefore, what are his actions? What are his behavior? What are the yardstick can we take to measure that this person is pure? So therefore, he can do whatever he likes to do because he's pure.
Example:
if he's pure, if he is pure and he's living the loose life, then what example is he showing to the whole world?
Example was what I was sharing with you, that BDT Maharaj told me this story. This devotee had visited a prostitute.
I understand, Sadi Prabhu. I understand. I know I heard all that. And I'm convinced that the Lord can do the undo. But at the same time, the other hand is contradictory. So if we are preaching the illicit sex life is not good, and a pure devotee will go and have illicit sex and come and tell me you don't have illicit sex, what is he telling me? What example are they showing to the whole world? That is what I don't, that is what is bothering me.
That's what I was saying.
I know a
it's
pure
only
devotee.
It's only those who are preaching. There are many things many yogis did that we cannot do. That's why I was saying it. Well, I think I will let Shriman Varapam, but that's what I was saying, that we don't have to look too far. You know, we just have to just look at what Srila Prabhupada has given us. That's all we need to follow. That is the mistake some of us do sometimes, that we go past what Srila Prabhupada has given us and accept that which appears to be contradictory to what Srila Prabhupada gave us, and accept that particular concept, which is dangerous. Shriman Varaprabhu, maybe you have something to share, please.
Yeah, something. I'll try. Govinda Prabhu was making a very important point. And the story that was narrated also has something to teach us about how merciful the Lord is. But there is a warning. And that warning is that don't go to the Holy Land with your ordinary eyes. Don't try to visit Vrindavan or Jaganath, or all these holy places with your ordinary eyes. You're going to get confused. And we have seen that most of our devotees who were sent to India earlier on, and they were not like, some of them tried to just make the tour of India on their own, not remaining in the devotee Sangha. All of them blooped, one after the other. They went to India only to bloop. Because they just got confused, You would think that they go to India to go get, more devotion. The majority bloop. Only the recent devotees now that are staying Kaivi Kanapura set, and the others from Ghana, that only those recent ones have stayed. Yeah. Almost all the devotees who went in the past, majority of them all blooped. This is the reason, because when you go to the holy place and you're not being guided, you will be confused about what you see. Because so many transcendental people are there, and you try to see them on the same level, or you try to judge them based on what you think you're certainly going to, I don't want to say commit offense, but you're certainly going to get confused. So remember that warning. Prabhupada gave that warning. Don't go to Vrindavan or any holy place, just with your ordinary eyes. You better keep your ears open and hear from holy people and remain in the association of in devotee Sangha. But if you wander around in the holy place by yourself, a lot of things will happen that you will really, really get confused. And don't forget, these places, they are like, how do I say? They're not ordinary places. Those who are moving around there are not, all of them are not just human beings. I mean, like that story mentioned, this devotee, who knows who that devotee is to Krishna. I mean, these devotees and pandas that we say they are eating fish, who knows whether these are all Garuda's children in human form. In Vaikuntha, there in the spiritual world, that is their food. Who knows? You can't see, you don't know what their spiritual form is. Only Krishna knows. We don't know what their spiritual form is. So it'd be very difficult for us trying to see with our ordinary eyes when we are in the Holy Land. Because the Holy Land is actually linked with the spiritual world. It's not different. And most of the people that are there working directly, serving Krishna directly, they are all expansions of the Lord. So like anyone wants to criticize Garuda for eating snake and fish, he eats fish, he eats snakes. It's his food, and it's always in constant touch with Krishna directly. So we have to be very careful when we visit the Holy Land, that we don't try to see things with our ordinary eyes. We just have to keep our ears open and hear only from the, realized devotees. That's what I can contribute. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Shriman Vara Prabhu. Thank you. Sri Kami, please unmute.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you very much. I love Prabhu's contribution very much, especially the one he mentioned about Garuda. I was thinking about that also. Garuda is very close to Krishna, and his food is fish. Who are we to consider? Even the yogi Subaruboni criticized Garuda. He went down. So that is a very good example Prabhu gave. Who knows whether they are children of Garuda, So like what Prabhu said. And also, if we are trying to look this world with equal eyes, we are going to commit offenses to the Lord. Let's say, for example, now, you look into this material, those people who are stickingly rich, they don't have devotion to God. Many of them, even some of them criticize God, like Tesla. It's an atheist. Tesla is an atheist. I remember he was having an interview with Jack Ma. They were interviewing him, both him and Jack Ma one day. He was trying to prove to Jack Ma that there is no God. And Jack Ma was trying to prove to him that there is God. That one is from Asia. So naturally we believe that there is God. So what I'm trying to say is that even some of them, there's so many people in this world who are very wealthy. They don't even want to serve God. They don't have that impetus. They see that giving donation to churches is like doing God favor. And who is here to criticize God? Why he gave them that wealth? It's because of their past. We know this, that we can understand that it's because of their past karma. So similarly, all these spiritual people in the Holy Land, we don't know where they're coming from. We don't know their previous birth. So just like what Prabhu said, thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
See, there was one God sister, and this our God sister. She started eating meat, and so I asked her, "Why doing that?" And she said, "What is wrong with it? What is wrong with meat eating? Even the Brahmins in Jaganath, they eat meat, they eat fish." So that's what I'm trying to say. I know that a pure devotee can drink a melted iron and nothing will happen to him. He has a lot of mystical abilities. That what we think is fish, they can just chant on it and turn it into food spiritually, but we will not see. But my concern was that physically, people will see what they are doing and try to follow their example. And if a conditioned soul sees that and follow that example, he becomes more conditioned. But the pure devotee are supposed to be exemplary to the conditioned souls. So if the pure devotees themselves are doing things that will encourage the conditioned souls to become more conditioned, that is my worry. That is what I don't understand. But I know
Prabhu, the devotee Mataji you're talking about, did she take initiation?
Oh yeah, she was a Brahmin.
Yeah, so she's crazy because when she took initiation, she took a vow of what she's not going to do. So she's crazy to be eating meat or fish and then comparing herself to other people. What became of the vows you took before your guru? It's just craziness. Somebody just taking something from somewhere to engage in his or her own nonsense. Whatever nonsense we want to do, we will find something in the scriptures to support it. Well, now we have to be sincere with ourselves. That lady took a vow. Before she got her initiation name, she took a vow. 4 regulative principles I'm going to follow. It's just
Prabhu, that is true, you know, but you should also understand that not every person who takes a vow has that matured kind of consciousness. There are people of different levels of consciousness. And so we are warned not to associate with any person who is not that spiritually or Krishna conscious. About that association is not talking about only physical association. Even reading books, hearing lectures from other places can weaken one's devotion if one is not very strong.
Yeah.
Hearing this pastime or hearing the activities of these devotees in Jaganath, just by hearing, one can be, you know, the weak-minded person will fall into that trap. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody is like you.
No, I agree with you. Shri Chakra Prabhu, please unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My little observation or contribution that the last time when we were talking about criticizing somebody, and Isvara Prabhu quoted the Chaitanya Bhagavad. So I went there to read Chaitanya Bhagavad, the 6th chapter, and the Brahmin who put his complaint before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about Lord Nityananda. The Brahmin was right. He had genuine points that Lord Nityananda was behaving in a very awkward way, which does not befit a follower of the Lord, like a real representative of the Lord. So Lord Chaitanya was telling this Brahmin that Lord Nityananda is not of this world. So the rules and regulations in this world does not affect you. So if even you see Nityananda Prabhu going to the liquor shop to take alcohol, you have nothing to complain about, because Nityananda is above the material laws. He's beyond it. So in other words, we are being told how we can get ourselves from these material clutches and live above. Of course, we need examples. And that is the reason why we take gurus, we take initiation, we take mentors. And of course, it's these mentors, it's their duty to teach us by their examples. And that's why we refer to them as acharyas. They teach us by their example. So if the mentor that we have decided, we have chosen, is not doing something, but you go and see another person doing it, and you want to follow that person, then it becomes very unfortunate. Because if even
Exactly.
you see another devotee doing something, then the only thing is you cross-check with your mentor. Was my guru doing it too? If my guru was not doing it, then I don't have to do it. And that's what it means. That is my principle. I say, if even I see somebody doing something, I'll only cross-check. Is my guru doing it? If my guru is not doing it, then it means it's not good for me. That's why my guru is not doing it. And the second part of it is that look, even when Jesus Christ came, when Jesus Christ appeared on this planet, a lot of the Jewish laws, the Jewish rules and regulations, that if you come in contact with the with the Gentile, you are considered contaminated. That you cannot be a proper worshiper of God when you associate with Gentiles. And that's why even when Jesus was associating with Mary Magdalene was not even a Gentile. She was a Jew, but she was a prostitute. And they couldn't understand why would Jesus Christ be associating with this kind of personality. So the disciples started complaining. And when they complained, Jesus said, I did not come for the righteous. I came for the unrighteous. I did not come for those who are already pure, who are already righteous, who are doing the right thing. They are not the reason why I came. I came purposely for those who are not doing the right thing. And I've come to teach them how to do the right thing. So the point is, many a time that we console ourselves that, oh, once we are devotees, oh, I'm a devotee. So, and what are the reasons? Oh, I'm not eating meat, I'm not eating fish, I'm not eating drinking alcohol, and I'm chanting Hare Krishna. So yeah, I know I'm going back home. We just console ourselves like that. Of course, we get benefits, all right, but we cannot be complacent and try and console ourselves like that, because someone you may see, the person might even be a womanizer, the person might be doing something really bad, but compared to you, if you go deep in the heart, the person might be more committed to God than yourself. So how do you justify that? Because you saw the person doing one bad thing, then you think you are okay. So that's why it's very imperative for devotees as devotees. That's the reason why this forum is very good for us. We associate with each other to make sure that we learn all the ups and downs of this material world, and we learn how to keep ourselves in line so that gradually we can come to the level of pure devotional service. Because once we get there, then that is when we can take our own decisions. But before we get there, we need help. We need serious help. And the help is Sadhu Sangha, Association of Devotees. And that's why Jesus was telling his disciples over and over again. He says, if you humble yourself as one of these children here, then you are qualified to go to the kingdom of heaven. Because a child is completely surrounded, doesn't ask much questions. He does what he has been told to do. So we should come to that level of being submissive and being like children, and follow what our guru, especially me, I will insist, what our gurus, especially my Guru Maharaj, what he has instructed me to do, the directions he has given me, I should follow it. And then I know by dint of that, I will be qualified and go back home, back to God. So if my little thing is that it's true that Govinda Prabhu is whatever he's saying, that these people, why are they not showing any examples? But how can we tell? We are not in their heart. We don't know what they are, how surrendered they are to the Lord. So we only limit ourselves to what we know about, especially by my guru. Like myself, I've never gone to Jaganath. I've never seen these people eating fish before. I just heard it. Whether it's true or not, I don't even know it. I'm just hearing it, that, oh, these people eat fish. But my Guru Maharaj told me I shouldn't eat fish, meat, fish, or eggs, period. So I limit myself to what my Guru Maharaj said. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Salika Prabhu, I saw your hand up. Do you want to speak?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, I was going to make some contribution based on the topic going on before Vara Prabhu spoke. And I think he has mentioned part of the things I was going to contribute, because when talking about the Jaganath Puri, the devotees of Jaganath Puri and their behaviors and all of these topics, I was just going to remind us that of course, Krishna has already established from the Bhagavad Gita that one who understands the transcendental nature of my activities and pastimes. And when we talk about the Lord, we talked about his pure devotees, because the Lord and his devotees are all the same, because they come along together. If we did not have the background of the stories from Krishna book, it would be very difficult for anyone to comprehend all of the actors in the Krishna Lila, Putana, Trinivrata, and many of the demons that were in the Krishna Lila. And we will never have known which personality, even the Pandavas, no one will have been able to understand their activities, because we are going so far. But even the Pandavas, they hunt. They play the games of dice. We cannot gamble. So there are unlimited examples of activities which are not within the scope of our practice as a sadhaka and on the part of Krishna consciousness that we've seen, we've heard, we've read in the scriptures. So it depends on the level of individuals to be able to perceive the Lord and his activities. And that is what Srila Prabhupada encourages us to become, to come to that platform whereby we have the pure eye to see the pure activities of the Lord and his pure devotees. And in one of Srila Prabhupada's statements, he did mention that if we have the ability to see and know who is in this Krishna consciousness, we're going outside of ISKCON. Even within this Krishna consciousness, he said we will faint. And I can attest to that. And I'll share some little story to you. When I joined Krishna consciousness, I was coming from a mystic background before joining Krishna consciousness. And when I was coming into Krishna consciousness, I read Bhagavad Gita paperback. I never saw the Bhagavad Gita hardcover with the pictures and everything. I don't have the pictures of Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his associates. So I read only the paperback. And then when I came to the temple, my first experience when I coming into the temple, I saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. Later, the personalities that we saw in the pictures like Narada Muni. I was seeing them, and their legs were not touching the ground. I had to ask BDD Maharaj, then Parikshit. I said, I saw some people. Are there some other people here who are not, I don't know how to describe them. I was explaining them to him, and he started laughing at me. He said, because the description I was making, later on, he opened the Bhagavad Gita, and he showed me Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was dancing in front of Jaganath, the way he was, very in a short dhoti with no cloth on top. And these were kind of personalities I saw, not just one, but I saw many of them. In the kirtan, in the temples, that was my first experience. I was coming from a background where I could see things, but I wouldn't know what it was, but I saw these personalities on real life. And at a point in time, later as I continued to grow in devotional service, at a point in time, I no longer see certain things. And I went to Srila Krishnapad. I went to him and I told him, like, Gurudev, when I joined the movement, I used to see, even during the kirtan, I would see some personalities. And he laughed at me. He said, Krishna was attracting you because he wants to make you realize that this is not an ordinary religious organization. It's a spiritual movement that has different personalities that attend the kirtan. So Krishna was just giving you an opportunity to see certain things. That is taking it doesn't mean that you are actually, not necessarily because you're falling, but because those are not necessary for your devotional growth at this point. So this is a personal realization. And so when we talked about
activities of devotee, we cannot see a devotee with our two eyes. This physical eye, which sometimes we call toy, because the eyes cannot see spiritual things, because the eyes, this eye is material. That is why Lord Brahma said in the Brahma Samhita that Primanjana Shurita Bhakti Vilochanena, the pure devotees, they see the Lord with eyes that is purified with oil of love of God. So it should not be strange to one who has actually read our scriptures that we could see people. We read the story of Kumja and so many. You can continue naming. I'm naming them. So it is not strange, but what is important for us as Sadaka is that what did, like many devotees have mentioned here, what did our acharyas tell us to do? We're Sadhana Bhaktas, and our constitutional position is to follow the rules and regulations. When we become pure devotees, we will understand. And that is what I think any serious-minded devotee should be looking at, should be thinking about. That's what I wanted to share.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I think if someone else has something to share, you may do that. Otherwise, we'll bring the class to a close. It's a very nice discussion. Well, I think we may ask.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm asking all these questions. Not that I'm not saying that we are hearing this and therefore we should practice it, or today or future we are going to act like them. When we ask questions so that we can learn. We don't ask questions because we just want to ask questions. We don't ask questions because we don't know what to do. We all know that we have to follow our gurus, whatever they have given us. Every sincere, every serious disciple, that is his mentality, to act according to the instruction of his guru. But we are preachers. Just like we always say, we are preachers. And so we ask questions. So when we ask questions, you never think that, oh, this individual does not know what he's talking about, or he doesn't know his left and right. We all know we have to follow Guru's instruction. We know that. But there are certain questions that comes out for us to digest, to understand, and so we know how to present it in future when we are approached by those questions. And so there's a reason why. So you're talking about Garuda eating fish. Have you gone out? Have you gone deeper to understand why Garuda took that body, that form as a Garuda? And as a bird, his food has to be fish and snakes. If you go deeper, you understand why. And so if you try to go deeper and someone sitting out there say, why are you investigating this? The other person doesn't know what he's talking about. A preacher is investigating. He always wants to learn so he can preach nicely. So that is what I would like to say. We ask questions so that we can be enlightened. We know something new, something different. Does not mean that a person asking a question does not know exactly what he's supposed to do. We know we have to follow Guru's order. We know we have to follow Srila Prabhupada example. We know many people who have left Srila Prabhupada to follow other gurus. We criticize them. We talk to them. We all know that. And so when we are asking questions, we ask a question because we want to know more.
Hare Krishna, Shri Govinda Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Govinda Prabhu, for clarifying that.
Nobody actually thinks or believes that you're asking those questions because
because you don't know.
Because that is what you're planning to do. No, but when you ask a question, excuse me, when I say you, I don't mean you as a person, but anytime anybody asks a question, the person answering the question does not look at who is asking the question. The person only looks at the question and answers the question. And so the question you asked could be just being the devil's advocate. And it has to be answered. And so it has to be answered in such a way that the audience here or whoever watches this video later on can also have the proper tools to answer such a question if he or she should be faced with such question. That is what makes Srimad Bhagavatam class so interesting. We ask questions so that we can better equip ourselves in answering questions when we go out there to preach. So personally, I know you. We go out and Harinam, we have no food to eat. We buy boga like bread. You will never eat the bread. I will eat the bread. You know? Yeah. So nobody is thinking like, oh, Govinda is asking these questions because that is what he plans to do. But the question you asked is going to be dealt with based on the question, not the person asking the question. So don't worry about that.
No, sorry, Prabhu. See, you're getting me wrong. I'm not worried. I'm speaking for people in general.
Yeah.
Sometimes people ask different type of questions, not because they don't know what they are asking, but for the enlightenment of the people, he asked the question. And sometimes how you see, sometimes we have to be very sincere to ourselves.
I have personally addressed this topic many times.
If a question is asked and you have no answer to the question, I mean, I don't see why we cannot keep quiet than try to say something. There's something that one may say might not give any impact to the questionnaire. Now, I will try to know deeper as to why the devotees there do that. That is a question. I would like to know deeper why they do that and still they are pure devotees.
Govinda Prabhu, Sadhu Prabhu, please, if you can permit me, let me say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, we have to also understand one thing, that it's not every questions that are answered. When Srila Prabhupada is asked a question like, where do we come from? At different times, he will answer the question differently. Not because he does not know the answer, but because of the particular audience that is being spoken to. So when we talked about the devotees in Jaganath Puri eating fish or doing certain things, it depends on who is asking the question. Because unless one actually is on that level of, that's what I was trying to share, that unless the person, the questionnaire and the person asking the question and the person answering the answer must be on the same level. That is the whole essence of Bhagavatam. It is said from the beginning of this Bhagavatam that we're reading that Sukadev Goswami was a perfect speaker. Amarat Parikshit, the receiver, was also a perfect person, ready for such a level of sharing. So if someone is asking a question, it depends. For our own understanding, I understand where you're coming from. For our own understanding, the simple understanding is that the Lord and his devotees' activities are beyond ordinary mundane level of calculation of what is wrong or what is right. On the spiritual platform, there is nothing wrong, there is nothing right. Dualities does not exist. On the spiritual platform, everything is absolutely perfect because it makes sense at that time. One understands the sin behind. But on the material plane, there is wrong and right. And to explain the wrong and right, also, one has to look at the student. The speaker has to look, does this person have the adhikar to understand this subject matter? So if somebody is asking a question like, why did devotees have a double standard in Jaganath Puri? Although the scripture said like this, then one can understand, because the scripture itself has already said that those residents of Jaganath Puri are not ordinary persons. And our Siddhanta is based on the scripture itself, because the scriptures have said that the personalities that took birth in that particular geographical location on this earth planet are not ordinary persons. So that's our answer to such a person. But if a person is a highly elevated person who is on the pure level of bhakti or pure love of God, or perfect, a great Mahatma, he can understand the sin behind. For him, such matter doesn't become complex to understand because he understands the Lord, he understands his devotees, he understands why the Lord is acting in a particular way, even when he is described in a different particular way. I think this is my understanding.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. But Prabhu, can you also help me that the people in the spiritual world eat fish and meat?
Definitely no.
So they are pure devotees on this planet. There are vegetables and things everywhere. So if these things are not eaten in the spiritual world and they are eating it here, my question is, do the people in the spiritual world eat fish? Because they are pure. Whatever they do is transcendental. Do they eat it there?
Okay. The question is for me, Prabhu.
The question is for you.
No, the first question is we should first ask, how do the denizens in the spiritual world eat? Do they eat the way we eat? When we answer that, when we answer that, then we find out whether they eat fish or not.
In this world, people here eat fish. But in the spiritual world, that's what I'm asking. Is the fish their food?
I'm saying we should first of all find out how do the denizens in the spiritual world eat.
Govina Prabhu, Sade Prabhu answer you. We should first of all know whether they are eating first.
Very interesting. Yes, topic.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, actually, sometimes we tend to want to see the material world as opposite of spiritual world, but it's not opposite. Actually, the material world cannot be an opposite of spiritual world because it's not in the spiritual concept or the spiritual platform. There is no dualities, so we cannot compare the activities of the spiritual world with the activities in the material world because dualities only manifest in the material world, but in spiritual world it's a completely different thing entirely. And material world, yes.
Sorry, Prabhu, for cutting you. So if it's not opposite, so how can we understand when they say the people there, their walking is like dancing? I'm trying to imagine how it looks like when somebody is walking and it looks as if he's dancing. And they say the water there is nectar. And also they also describe also that the cow there, the milk is just flowing and flooding everywhere on the ground. I'm trying to conceive. And there's another one also. Okay. They say the tree there, if I go to a mango tree, I can get guava. So how does it work?
And Salika Prabhu, Salika Prabhu may help us, may help us to understand what is the reason behind they are eating the eating of the fish instead of vegetables.
Govina Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Sade Prabhu already answered your question. He said that we have to first of all know whether they are eating at all there.
Yeah, they are eating because they said that any tree can yield anything for you.
That one is one point, Prabhu.
There are a tree that can give you mango, can give you guava, can give you all those things that they eat.
Prabhu, that is a one point also. That is one.
No, Salika Prabhu, I would like to understand.
Hare Krishna, sorry.
My
Wi-Fi battery
is the best cook. Siva Chodani is the best cook.
I think we should try to round up this class today, please.
Yeah, we need to get Sadif to go and rest. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. But Kavi Prabhu, that is why the Brahma said, Vede Shu Dulabam Adulabam Atma Bhaktao. That is, if very easily understood, and it's also very difficult at the same time. And that is why it is called transcendence. So unless you come to that transcendence, it becomes very difficult. So one has to come there first. Then one can understand, because it's really actually difficult to understand.
Salika Babu, you are completely right. Because why? One of the transcendental quality of Krishna is that he never feels hungry. And somebody who doesn't feel hungry, how can he have urge to eat? So if we have the same quality, if we have the same quality of him, of his nature, it means that we'll never be hungry when we are in the spiritual world. So the urge to eat will not also be there. This is how I'm thinking.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
No.
I think we'll ask all the devotees to kindly unmute, and then we chant big Hare Krishna to express our appreciation for our original speaker. Excuse me. His Grace Isvara Prabhu, and hope that in the very near future, maybe tomorrow or on Monday, thereabout, he'll be able to share with us the beautiful pastimes of Sri Jaganath. So at this point, we ask all the devotees, we chant Hare Krishna to end.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vamcha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya
Vaishnavyo namo namaha.
Vaishnava Vrinde ki jai.
Jai.
Vaishnava Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhu Salika.